speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, it has I have sold here, but they're mixing up shipped and digital sales. And sometimes when companies say we shipped, that means we've shipped to customers, but also just shipped to retailers. And so they will count their own sales as Best Buy bought fucking X number of copies to put on their shelves, and they'll count it as already sold. So I don't know exactly, but they are stating that they have shipped and sold digitally combined 3.5 million copies in the first 3 days for Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a pretty good kickstart for that. Not surprising. This was a game that was going to sell a lot of copies no matter what. This game could have been Fallout 76 levels of fucked, and the opening sales for the game would have been huge regardless, just because of the name. So the more interesting number for me won't actually be how this first one does, but it will be part 2. That will be the fun one to see what the numbers do. Will it continue to keep the numbers of the first? Will it drop? Will it look like Final Fantasy 13?
That's insane numbers. Like, in 3 days?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Well, you're thinking about everyone staying at home and waiting for this game, right? And and
it could be the perfect storm too with the quarantine.
Everyone's at home. It's quarantined. There's a lot of games got delayed. There's not.
It's a lengthy game too.
It's a lengthy game. Wait, but it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. The amount of I mean, okay. So to put this in perspective, the first game sold 18 million copies. Final Fantasy VII over its lifetime. Final Fantasy VIII was 8.8 or 8.7 million. Final Fantasy VII, love it or hate it, is the most popular Final Fantasy game of all time. It's also the most selling Final Fantasy title in the mainline franchise of all time. And it is, I actually mentioned this in the opening of my review, people sometimes forget that when this whole like remake, remaster culture started in the gaming industry, it was actually a long time ago now. Like, people think this is new. This has been going on for like a fucking long time, like 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
And, or more almost at this point. And when the first of those titles started to appear, or those projects started to appear, the first thing that everyone fucking started asking for was Final Fantasy VII to be remastered. And it was on every time a new game, it wasn't just like forums specific to Final Fantasy VII. It was like whenever a game got announced that it was going to be remastered, the comment section wasn't about that game. It was,
Final Fantasy VII.
This is good, but I really want to see Final Fantasy VII remastered. It was like a fucking phenomenon that went on for a long time until Square Enix came down and said, guys, it's not going to happen because it's going to take too much time and too much money. And then it literally died for 2 or 3 years. And then 2015 crops up, and they have the announcement trailer at E3, and the whole industry went, wait a minute, I thought you said this was impossible, but okay, cool, and then everyone got excited again. So this was going to sell fuck tons, truckloads of games, regardless, just by that alone. And I think people forget about that because it's been so long since the original hype around the idea of Final Fantasy VII getting remastered was a thing. But yeah, 3.5 million copies in the first 3 days, big numbers. It'll be fun to watch the trend of its lifetime sales. And then, like I said, I'm most interested in when part 2 comes out in probably 18 months, 2 years, what that one sells like. Because Final Fantasy 13, for example, the first one, sold many, many, many copies. That was... Final Fantasy 13 was, 7 or 11 million copies. I can't remember which one of those two. And then Final Fantasy 13-2 came out, and that number got cut in half. It was like 3.3 million. And then 13-3 came out, and it barely cracked 1 million sales. So...
Yeah, it's a little different, though. This is a little different.
Well, it's different, but I'll be interested because they changed.
Well, I don't foresee the sales going up.
Well,
like,
no,
they're not
but
going to go up.
but
I don't see them plummeting or being half.
But they changed. But they changed. What my thing is, and I'm not spoiling by saying this because we already know now they changed. I won't say what they changed, but they changed so much about this game that a lot of people had a lot of hype going in. And I feel like this is going to be a game that the longer it's out, and there's a lot of time for people to simmer on this before the next game comes out, like almost 2 years, if not 2 years.
Yeah, but it's just Midgar.
The longer the game, no, you say that, dude, when you play it, fucking buckle your ass up, bro. It's just Midgar. You'd be surprised what they pull off in just Midgar for how much they changed.
I'm okay with change. I embrace it.
And that's fine. So that's what I'm interested in. So there's a lot of I feel like there will be a lot of people. It's going to be split into two camps. People who were excited about this going in, that get that game, play through it, and they're not happy with the changes at all, and don't necessarily look forward to what's coming after. And then there will be people that embrace the change and want to see it. Yeah. But both of those camps right now have all purchased this first game. So the second game is what I'm interested in, how the opening sales are, because that will be really interesting to see the staying power as this game is split across multiple titles. That's going to be super fun to watch, just in terms of like how they keep interest up, because this is the first.
It's going to do extremely well. It's going to sell fuck tons of copies. It's barely going to go down in sales. Mm-hmm. That other camp that you're saying, it barely exists. This game, it barely exists. It's been nothing short of nonstop praises on just about every front. Obviously, your camp is a little bit different, but your camp is small. And people are fucking amped up. I'm telling you right now, if the second part come out tomorrow, they're going to sell another 3 million copies. People are ready for this. And I think the longer it waits, the more excited people are going to get. And the things that people are upset about, they're going to be more forgiving about it, because they're going to go, you know what? I just want more Final Fantasy in my life. And maybe they can do this part right. Maybe they're going to, start peering in the next direction. There's going to be trailers. There's going to be people. It's different than Star Wars.
Yes, it's going to be trailers.
Yeah, but it's going to reignite. It's going to reignite people. It's like, it's no different than Star Wars. It's the exact same thing, except that it's not even decisive as decisive as Star Wars was. The new Star Wars. It's like, it's like if it came out and it was like The Last Jedi, and you got literally half the camp going, fuck, this is the worst thing ever created. And the other half going, you know what? I kind of like the direction. But no, it's like 98% of people going, oh my God, yes. I want all this, more of this, whether it's nostalgia or not. A lot of it is nostalgia. I'm sure the game isn't groundbreaking by any means, but it's given people what they want. And only 2% are going, yeah, no, I'm not really feeling it, bro. They're going to sell, like I said, highly unlikely they're going to sell more copies than what the original did.
Yes.
But I can't see it.
I'm not expecting
it too much less.
Now, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying it's going to trend like Final Fantasy 13, where it like halves its sales and then dies in the third installment. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just interested in what the initial day sales of part 2 is after part 1.
It'll probably be 3 million. If this is 3.5, it'll probably be 3 million, high twos. It's not going to drop that much. I mean, obviously it's going to drop some. We're in a coronavirus right now, so some people are just going to buy the game for the sake of buying the game, and because they're at home doing fuck all, right? Yep. So it's like the digital movie releases. People are renting movies that normally wouldn't rent just for the sake of doing it. So I'm sure we're going to get a drop. And unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, it's almost unfair to even judge a 1 million copy drop from part 2 to part 1, because you can always make that comparison that, well, dude, we're in the middle of a pandemic and everybody and their dogs sitting at home. So people were going to be buying it as well. The only real way to actually compare would be as if there was another pandemic, knock on wood, or you look at the lifelong
the lifetime sales of it,
right?
Which is
you look at like, okay, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, 3 months, 6 months out, how well it's doing. Plus, when part 2 is about to come out, you're going to see a big uptick in more sales to part 1, because there's going to be a ton of people that are going to go, I ain't playing shit until all these parts are out, and I want to get immersed in it, and I want to go, and I just want to play it.
Which is kind of a crazy fucking concept if you think about it, because they're like locking themselves into like, that's a long wait. That's like you're almost.
Some people are going to be like that,
and
right?
that's fine because they're not in any rush, and they're going to get the most complete version of the game, and they'll probably get it all on the PC by the time it's done, which is, for all intents and purposes, will be the best way to play this game. When all the parts are out, and they're all on PC, it will be bar none.
Well, you're going to wait like 7 more years, 8 more years before you get before you get to that point, right?
Yeah. So, but you're right. It's gonna continue to sell very well, and.
This is gonna break. This is easily gonna break 8 million copies.
Yeah.
By the end of this year, I would say it's gonna sell so much.
Yeah. It is from my view after having played it, and I think people forget that Final Fantasy VII is like my second favorite fucking Final Fantasy. It's like people like just see me shitting on it all the time. But from my perspective after having played it, and it's not that they change things that I have a problem with it. Change is fine. That's okay. Just make sure, but change for the sake of change, or just changing, doesn't mean it's good.
But a lot of people think it is, like the vast majority.
Right? What you're seeing everywhere about people talking about this game is not about the changes. What you're seeing people talk about and be excited about is out of their lips. It's, oh my god, I'm seeing my characters, my favorite fucking characters, in glorious fucking fully HD rendered models, and I'm getting the music is coming back, and I'm crying because I'm seeing Aerith in the church and all rendered, and she looks so pretty, and the music is playing in the background, and I'm going on a mad nostalgia trip because Final Fantasy VII is integral to my upbringing as a gamer. People are saying that. People are not saying that they are head over heels for the changes that have been made. And I can't wait, not that I expect you to think to be in the same position that I am with the game from a story perspective, just talking about story. But I can't wait until you play it and get all the way through it and see what they do and digest that. Because, and this is not hyperbole, and I will cover this in my review, there is a quite literal, it's insulting, actually, what they do towards the end of the game. It's actually kind of insulting. Not to the game, but to the people actively playing the fucking game, which will make no sense to you until you play the game. It's the weirdest thing that I have seen in a game ever, a developer do. It's very odd. A lot of people, I don't know if people aren't recognizing what they're doing exactly, but it's a very strange fucking scenario. I can't say without spoiling, but anyway, it's gonna sell well because it's nostalgia. Like you said, Star Wars has been coming out, and Star Wars movies that have been coming out have been dog shit, especially Rian Johnson's Star Wars. Absolute, unadulterated dog shit. Painted real good. In fact, Rian Johnson's is probably the prettiest of the three of the new trilogy. But dog shit. For any number of reasons. It's disrespectful to the original material of Star Wars, it's disrespectful to fans, and it's complete trash. But it made a shitload of money, and if it came out again tomorrow, it would make a shitload of money. But that doesn't mean that it's good. That just means that nostalgia will sell like crazy, and people that are devoted to a property will buy it no matter what. I want to bring it to everyone's attention that Bethesda is still actively and successfully monetizing Fallout 76, and then just sit and ruminate on that for a moment before you apply some logic here that just because something sells like batshit fucking crazy due to nostalgia does not mean that it's good. It just means that nostalgia overpowers bad shit. And it's happened a million times before. You get games like, well, you'll see it when you play it.
Are you done?
You'll see it when you play it. If you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake and not be insulted by the end of the game from a story perspective, then either A, you don't quite get what the story is doing, you haven't quite picked it up on it, or B, you are comfortable, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with it, I don't have a problem with it, but you're comfortable with just being like, you know what, I do like the nostalgia, it's making me feel good, I'm enjoying myself because of the nostalgia, and that's fine. I just have a problem.
The reality is, Adam, some people just don't agree with you. Some people just like the game.
Yes, that's fine.
And it's not just a nostalgia play. They're just saying, fuck your opinion.
Yes.
I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the gameplay. I enjoy what's going on. I enjoy the new stuff.
Yes.
And this whole just purely nostalgia play is not the only reason why people are enjoying the game.
It's the vast majority of it. I promise you, it is the vast majority.
Even if it is, if people enjoy it, then they enjoy it.
And that's fine. Well, the reason why I get tuned up is because people bitch at me when I critique something about the game, and then they'll come at me and they'll say, "But I liked it a lot." And I go, "Well, that's fine. I'm really happy for you. That's fantastic. There are lots of things that I like that you don't like, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't go to you and bitch about the fact that you don't like it or that you have a critique about it, especially if you actually have thoughts about it that aren't just, I don't like it, or I do like it. People try and come to me and start entire conversations if I'm critiquing something about the game, where I'm being in-depth and giving specific examples about why I don't like something, or why I don't think it's particularly good or great, or if I do think it's good, why I think it's good. And then they'll come to me and they'll say, well, you're fucking wrong. I'm like, it's amazing.
Well, it's
like,
your opinion.
okay,
Who cares? Who gives a shit?
That's
You're
fucking
critiquing a game.
I'm critiquing a game. That's fine. But then they want to have a discussion, and then but all they have for me is, yeah, but I like it. That's where it ends. But they'll still whine and bitch. And I'm too much of a cuck to just ban them from my channel and get them out of my life, because they're not looking for a discussion. They just want to say, yeah, but I like it, but they don't actually have anything to back it up. They're just like, yeah, it's good.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they don't really need to back anything up, because
they do if they're going to try and start an argument or a conversation.
Well, I mean, if they want to have dialogue with you on why they think it's good,
then
they
do.
Or for example, if they just don't agree with you, then they just don't agree with you. You know what I mean? Not everybody goes into a game with a super critical way of thinking. You're like that with every single game you play, for good, bad, or indifferent. That's just who you are as a gamer.
That's right.
You overanalyze things, and there's an audience for that totally vibe and mesh with you.
Sure.
And then there's also a big audience that just, like Star Wars, likes to go there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that they're watching a technically bad film, but they're having a good time, and they're not interested in telling you why they had a good time. They just like the pew pew, and it was an escape,
and that's fine. Then they just say that, but they don't.
They just said that, hey, I just liked it. I mean, so it is what it is. There's no point in getting worked up about it. Just tell them to go fuck yourself. Hey, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I don't.
But then I get in trouble for saying go fuck yourself, because like, I'm just expressing my opinion. I'm trying to counter yours, but they're not. They're just saying. So they're screaming into a fucking void with no fucking anything. It's not about expressing your opinion. I'm happy people like this game, because if they didn't, then this was a big waste of time and energy for everyone involved.
Yeah, Square Enix crushed this shit, bro.
It's just don't start a dialogue if you have nothing to bring to it, and then bitch about starting the It's a fucking weird circular logic that drives me fucking nuts. Because
I mean, now listen, I'm gonna play it, and I'll give you guys my honest fucking truth. I'm not gonna sit here and
you're gonna give it a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I probably will. Who knows?
7 or 8.
Because you know me,
10.
if there's something I don't like, I'll fucking tell you. Even if I'm in that corner, I'm not. But I'm also not as super critically. I don't overanalyze shit. If there's certain mechanic things that like get in the way or whatever, I don't completely fault a game or completely shit on a game because one or two things, or I'm having, or I don't let that completely. I'm the type of person that just can let things sort of go and not let it consume my experience,
of course,
and just realize that things just aren't perfect. So by the sounds of it from the reviews, and I've watched many reviews, non-spoiler reviews on YouTube, people are absolutely loving it, and I think I'm probably going to be around the 8 to 8.5. I don't know though. I think
and
that's coming from a guy that Final Fantasy VII is definitely in my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Probably number 1 or number 2 between that Mario 64. It's back and forth, but Final Fantasy VII is the thing I think that cemented me as a gamer. And so, yeah, there is a nostalgia factor for sure. As soon as I get in that menu and I hear that music, it's gonna do something to me. It's gonna automatically put me in that mood. It's like going to a Star Wars movie and you hear that and you got the fucking crawl that comes down. It just gets you, and it doesn't matter. Even if you go in there knowing that you're gonna hate the movie, you it's like they groom you to get ready to have a good time. Now the question is, are they gonna disappoint me, or are they gonna create an experience that I can enjoy?
Are you gonna leave the theater and go, why did I just watch a half an hour about horse races?
Why did I waste 40 hours of my life playing this game? I could have just played the original. Who knows? I might have that.
But at the end of the day, the comes back and you're like, oh, I forget all about the horse races. I'm going back in for more. And that's my point. That's my point I'm trying to make, is that ultimately nostalgia.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think I'm gonna love it. I think I'm gonna
You are gonna love it. If not, because just to be the antithesis to me.
I will not do that, because when I play it, then we can talk spoilers. I'll be able to agree and disagree with you on certain things. Yeah. But I think the reality is, dude, I liked Final Fantasy 13, bro. How crazy is that? I enjoyed Final Fantasy 13.
So did I.
The Dash 2 and the lightning shit or whatever, garbage.
Dude, I like 13. Yeah, I played and beat 13 twice now. Maybe even 3 times.
Listen, if I like 13, I'm probably gonna like this game. Just from what I'm visually seeing and everything else, I think I'm gonna. So we will see. As long as they don't fuck my characters too hard, then I should be fine. With that, I'll pass.
I can't wait.
What's next? What's next?
I know. I don't have anything else to say. I just can't wait for you to finish the game. It's gonna be fucking amazing.